This is the Nations Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. Warning, ladies and gentlemen, our YouTube prophets are predicting a potential Trump assassination attempt on January 19th or January 20th, right before Donald Trump is inaugurated and announced as the President of the United States of America. And of course, I'm saying this lightly because there's slim to zero chance that Donald Trump isn't going to move forward at this point as becoming the President of the United States of America. They've already revealed what Donald Trump's big plans are for the New World Order with AI governance and the North American Union. But I have to cover this because Alex Jones is now bringing on Pastor Brandon Biggs. And I covered this guy in the past, and I try to be nice, even though many people out there say that I'm very harsh on people, and it's really just the way that I talk. But of course, anybody who is working for the government, pretending to be a good guy who is clearly working for the CIA, well, I'm pretty harsh on them. And I believe that possibly a lot of these false prophets are working for the government because they're choosing who is getting pushed around and paraded around on COINTELPRO programs like InfoWars, like Pastor Brandon Biggs. And he's had a vision of multiple Trump assassinations, including on Sunday, January 19th in Washington, D.C. He predicts Trump will bring stability to the nation, which will allow a major Christian revival to thrive. Quote, Satan is scared of what's about to come. And I look at these clowns who continue to get looked at as prophets on YouTube, and I cringe. Because, first of all, I believe that there are no prophets on YouTube. Do I believe that there are modern day prophets? Because the Bible does say that there will be prophets. Sure, there's a potential of a prophet being out there. Do I believe Brandon Biggs is one? No. Do you know why? Because I think people out there don't understand what a prophet even is anymore. So let me tell you, okay? A prophet is a person who's believed to receive messages from a divine being and then communicates these messages to others, essentially acting as a spokesperson for the deity, often including predictions about future events. In simpler terms, someone who speaks on behalf of God and delivers divine messages to people. So what that would mean is that if somebody was a prophet, then the prophet could never be wrong, which means they aren't making predictions. They're telling you that something God has told them, that this will happen on this day and something needs to occur to prevent it from occurring, or this is what's coming next, or some type of message from God which would be proven true. Now, Brandon Biggs, just like these other clowns on YouTube like Julie Green, literally have videos every single day where they prophesize things. Now, it's amazing to me that people actually believe this stuff. You know, when you have a dream at night, pretty much all of us have dreams when we go to sleep at night. I mean, me mainly nightmares, but we have dreams, right? That doesn't mean you wake up and you tell everybody that it's a vision from God. And what about when these people are wrong? Have you ever seen Brandon Biggs and Julie Green and what kind of content they put out? They sit there and they just read what they claim is prophecy every single day. They're receiving prophecy apparently every single day. But what about when they're wrong 99.9% of the time? Then what? You see, Brandon Biggs is getting promoted because Brandon Biggs supposedly predicted the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And when I covered this back during the assassination attempt in July, which of course was not a real assassination attempt, I talked about all these people that would claim to be prophets, whether they had good intentions or they were government agents or not, that the predictive programming for Donald Trump's assassination was everywhere over the last 8 years. Everywhere. And I'll show you in detail later on in the video, which means that they were programmed into thinking that Donald Trump would be assassinated or an attempt on his life would be made because they were showing you things like Kathy Griffin holding up his head or Snoop Dogg holding a gun to Donald Trump in a music video. It was everywhere. So these people are now promoted, and it's amazing the level of comprehension that most people have and how far they can think and how they look at these people and they're like, oh, Brandon Biggs, he's a prophet. He knew that Donald Trump was going to be assassinated. So since that day, every single thing that he's prophesized, which hasn't come true, which would make it obviously credible that he's not a prophet is never discussed, right? It's never discussed. So Alex Jones is giving him a platform. And of course, what he's doing is reading government talking points, right? How Donald Trump is chosen, how Donald Trump is going to change the world, how we have to do everything we can to make sure Donald Trump goes in office, which shows you how clueless and tone deaf all of the people listening to these videos are and listening to InfoWars are, because Alex Jones hasn't condemned at all the North American Union. He hasn't talked about the acquisition of Greenland and Canada and how this is the Club of Rome's plan and has been since the 1970s. And Alex Jones, of course, exposes some stuff, because how else would he have an audience? How else would Alex Jones have an audience if he wasn't giving you some truth? Then he would sound just like everybody else in the liberal media. Alex Jones gives some truth, but then he gatekeeps. You notice how he's pro-Trump, pro-Musk. All he does is tweet about Elon Musk now, protecting Elon Musk, how important Elon Musk is, because his job now is to get MAGA behind Elon Musk as they move forward with AI governance. You ever hear him expose AI governance? No, you don't. Have you heard him condemn Trump about the North American Union? No, you haven't, because they don't expect you to know these things if you're in the audience of Alex Jones. They only expect you to know the things that Alex Jones talks to you about. And of course, we know that they've taken all of these things with underground rings, which they tell you are actually above ground rings with all these children, and they bring people in that way to get them riled up and angry about what these people are actually doing. And when they show sympathy towards that and anger towards wanting to stop those things from happening, it makes the audience really relate with them, and it draws the audience in more and more. But here is Brandon Biggs on Alex Jones talking about multiple assassination attempts. And of course, because he called out the one assassination attempt, which either tells you that he was programmed himself through the predictive programming, which we've all discussed over the years, that there was going to be one at some point in time, or two, the government told him what to say, and they're going to continue to feed him, and they're going to use him as a false prophet to continue to draw in Christians into the MAGA Trump movement. Listen to this tirade on InfoWars.
I had some prayer people that are, they're not flaky. They hear the Lord. I know they do, like I do. And they had a dream that he was fatally shot at this event on Sunday. And that it was live on TV. And they said, Brandon, we know that the Lord has showed this to us in a dream, and so we want you to pray about this. So we've been praying and interceding for him for this event on the 19th. And so I have seen two more attacks, two more assassination attempts coming on his life. I saw a blonde woman with a French twist she was really beautiful. And she walks up to him and was trying to introduce herself. She had like this ballroom gown sequence dress on, and she opens fire on him and shoots him point blank in the chest, and tries to assassinate him then. And so in this vision I've seen praying against this blonde-headed lady, and I don't know who this is, but she was a very beautiful woman. And so then I've seen him being assassinated again later on in his presidency. The Lord said, you must pray against this one, because this is another plan. This is not going to stop. We've got to continue to intercede for this man to finish his race and what God has called him to do, because it's vital. Folks, if if the enemy, I'm going to say the enemy, there's Satan himself, if he wasn't scared of what's about to happen, it's all about what's about to happen is a major revival. The Lord has showed me a major revival that's coming from sea to shining sea. And we're going to see the greatest move of God we've ever seen on this planet ever. And Trump is a major part of bringing forth the stability in this nation to bring forth this major revival that I've seen that the Lord is about to have. I'm talking millions of people are about to come to Christ. There is a great shaking to awaken that's going to shake every nation. And people don't realize what's about to take place. And the global elitists and these evil people, I've seen them from BlackRock and the child trafficking rings and all the stuff the Lord has showed me. And the Lord said, you must pray for Trump and for his children, because if they can't get to him, they'll try to get to what's important to him. And you must intercede for Don Jr., because Don Jr. is a target. And he said, Eric, and he said, pray for those two men, because they will try to murder these two men in the days ahead. and you must intercede for them. And I've seen attempts on them, and they were successful in the visions what I've had, that they would actually, it would be similar to like what they call that for what's coming is like the Kennedy curse. What I'm most concerned about right now, what I feel pressing is just getting them, inaugurated, just getting the man inaugurated. We have to have him in power. And
this is such a dangerous next 2.5 days. And by the way, Trump has officially put out a statement on Truth Social and X. He is moving it into the rotunda at the Capitol and opening that to whoever in the public can get in. We've got his statement right here on screen for TV viewers. Please continue, Pastor Biggs.
Wow, praise God. I'm glad he's doing that. That's an answer to prayer right there. That's a huge answer to prayer.
So it's incredible, right? Everyone out there here, oh yeah, the deep state wants to stop Donald Trump. Something's coming. We can all feel that something's coming, that they're going to try to take Trump out, right? No address whatsoever about the New World Order's plan of a North American Union, how Trump, again, has talked about Canada becoming the 51st state, why Donald Trump wants to acquire Greenland, okay? The Club of Rome's Club of Rome's North American Union, as well as AI governance that Donald Trump is literally revealing in front of us with Elon Musk and the DOGE, D-O-G-E, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is going to eliminate government by removing human beings from office and replacing it with AI, telling you it's more efficient and it's more cost efficient, and it's better to have AI than to have these crazy liberal people in Congress who, talk about insane ideologies on purpose so that you want them replaced with AI. Now, again, back to Brandon Biggs. I mean, it's cringy listening to these guys. I hate to, make fun of some of these guys, but he really fits the role of what you would expect, right? He kind of comes across as a bumbling fool. You look at him and say, oh, he probably means well, he looks kind of, he means well, and people out there would probably be angry with me for telling you, well, this is what a prophet is, right? A prophet receives a message from God and, relays that message to fellow, Christians, so to speak, in this case, right? He's pretending to be I don't know if he's pretending to be a Christian or not, but he's pretending to be a prophet. Well, a prophet is not wrong, all right? So you could go through Brandon Biggs' videos because every single day, just like Julie Green, these people prophesize, and everybody goes there and listens, and they don't even know what's going on because they don't even know what a prophet is. Like, oh, Julie Green had a message. So every night, Julie Green and Brandon Biggs lay their head on the pillow. Whatever dream they have is a message and vision for God, because every single day they claim to have received messages. Every day. They wake up every day, and then they, if everyone's dreams was a prophecy from God, then there'd be a lot of prophets out there. A lot of people saying, hey, I'm a prophet. Now, it takes a certain kind of narcissist to declare themselves a prophet, which is really, something that bothers me a lot, that some of these people actually have the gall to claim to be prophets, have the gall to claim that God's giving them direct messages that they need to relay to people, and it's happening every single day. Couldn't imagine living with somebody like that. Just glad that I don't. It's hard enough having to listen to some of these people speak. And again, when it came to Trump's first assassination attempt, I covered it in detail over and over and over again. Of course, the videos are removed on that because the channel is no longer here. One of which, of course, I won't say the names of the channels, but the channels are no longer here, including another one that was just terminated, which I'll cover in a separate video. But the videos are available on the website. We've seen things like the Mouse King, right? Right before, of course, the year before this, all this clown show goes on, we had Donald Trump, the fake assassination on Donald Trump, because he played the Mouse King in the Nutcracker, that cringe. Remember that cringe performance of the Nutcracker that the Biden administration released, and all the media was talking about it? But what were they talking about? Though they were talking about how there was men dressed as women and it was just a freak show, right? But really, they weren't paying attention to the messaging, because Donald Trump was portrayed as the Mouse King, and he was assassinated right in front of that picture of Abe Lincoln. In fact, they've gone out of their way in pictures that they use in articles all over the mainstream media to always show pictures with Abe Lincoln behind Trump, Trump looking at Abe Lincoln. Of course, then we've seen the blatantly obvious, right? We've seen depictions of Trump having his head cut off by Kathy Griffin. We've seen Snoop Dogg, like I said earlier, assassinating Trump in music videos. We have rap songs, we have music songs about it. In fact, we have all these clips I'll play for you right here where celebrities and even plays are put on where Trump is assassinated in plays, or celebrities call for his assassination. This is all before, of course, the attempt on Donald Trump's life, of course, which was staged, including Tucker Carlson talking about an assassination attempt on Trump.
is violence. Are you worried that they're going to try and kill you? Why wouldn't they try and kill you?
They're savage animals. They are people that are sick.
Latest on that alleged plan to assassinate Donald Trump.
Johnny Depp on stage at a music festival in the UK when, apparently speaking in jest, he referred to assassinating President Trump. When Depp brings up President Trump's name, the audience cheers.
I think he needs help. I don't know. A lot of wonderful dark places he could go.
Then Depp said this.
By the way, this is going to be in the press. It'll be horrible. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Thank you, Amy. I'm just gonna head on over here.
Yes, I'm angry. Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
It's an actor dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage. Look as his character is stabbed to death. And there's no mistaking the Trump connection. Check out the unbuttoned overcoat and red tie that hangs over his waist. It's a staging of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar that is outraging many. It all comes on the heels of that outrageous image of Kathy Griffin holding the severed head made to look like Trump. She cried during a news conference where she was both defiant and apologetic.
That apology absolutely stands. I feel horrible.
As the cast took its bow, the audience applauded with a standing ovation.
I think that they are green-lighting assassination.
So that right there is the predictive programming that has shown us that this was planned for a long time. There's been a plan to fake an assassination on Donald Trump or to follow through eventually. Now, obviously, it seems more and more likely since the fake assassination attempt that the plan would be to assassinate him later on down the line, because Trump is going to implement this new world order now on day one, when he starts deporting people, when he starts telling you about a North America union. And don't forget the predictive programming in the movie Dead Zone, which was by Stephen King, who has nothing but predictive programming in his books and his films. Okay, Donald Trump was depicted as that businessman turned politician who ends up rising through Congress, and of course the fake assassination attempt on him. I mean, literally, Trump's character is based off of this character from the Dead Zone.
Better shape in this country. What the hell has happened to this country? Anybody tell me what the hell is going on?
Can you believe this guy? He's just getting warmed up. You vote for him, John? And vote against this turkey. He's dangerous. A real man of the people. Sworn and acts. Can't they see through this guy?
I'm challenging you right here and now to join me, to join a growing army.
Do it, General.
You're insane.
Do it. You're not the voice of the people. I am the voice of the people. The people speak through me, not you. Do it.
Complete the sequence, Mr. President.
Not necessary, Mr. President. We have a diplomatic solution.
The missiles are flying.
The most exciting, the most important case.
So the programming has been there. Now they're talking about a potential assassination attempt on Donald Trump before he gets put into power. Before he gets put into power, even though, keep in mind, all we've heard about since Donald Trump supposedly won the election is all the things that Donald Trump is already doing in Congress. He's talking about buying Greenland and turning Canada into the 51st state and all these other things. You would think that Donald Trump already was the president of the United States. They haven't wasted any time moving forward with their New World Order agendas. In fact, it's almost as if Biden just stepped aside on November 5th after it was announced that Trump won in a landslide. See, some of the other predictions as well to keep in mind here with Brandon Biggs is this looks like, because Brandon Biggs is getting promoted, because there's been other people who have talked about an assassination on Trump, including me, but I never claimed to be a prophet. But Brandon Biggs fits the bill perfectly because he claims to be a prophet, because he's going to draw in a Christian audience. He's talking about other prophecies that are to come. And he talked about an apocalyptic claim. He's speaking about it right now. about how a 10.0 earthquake is going to hit the New Madrid fault line. Another thing that I've covered over and over. So I don't know if Brandon Biggs follows channels like this and then takes what we talk about and then goes and pretends that it's a prophecy because the predictive programming has shown us that they're going to try and create a man-made earthquake to blow the New Madrid fault line and create a massive chaos. I mean, I've covered all the movies like Continental Split and other ones, right? We see San Andreas. There are lots of movies where they show you blowing up the fault lines deliberately with an earthquake, which of course would be man-made. Now, Brandon Biggs is going to tell you that earthquakes can be man-made. He's not going to tell you about Tesla's earthquake machine. He's going to tell you it's an act of God, right? And that's another fine line that we walk, where I get a lot of criticism from people because they want me to give credit to these events and say that it's God, like what happened in Los Angeles. They want me to give credit to God, that God caused the fires that occurred there, not human beings, right? And it's an incredible mindset to have. People just don't want to believe that these wicked people have the ability to manipulate and control the weather. But they do. But they do. And last I checked, when Jesus Christ died on the cross, that was the sacrifice, that God wasn't going to intervene and he wasn't going to pass judgment on human beings till Judgment Day. That no longer was God going to, come down and strike people or create a new Sodom and Gomorrah until the clock expired. That's my belief and interpretation, at least. So when I see these things and I read Revelation, I don't read these things thinking that all the events and famine and all this stuff is caused directly by God. I believe it's caused by the things that they have the ability to do. And it's two different perspectives. And Christians have a tough time with that. And they try to take it out on me like I care that they have a different perspective. I see the wicked plans that these people have because it's in front of us. They reveal it to us. They show us the technology that they have. The technology that we have in our hands is already mind-blowing. The stuff that we're allowed to use, right? If you think about what a cell phone is and how quickly you can communicate with somebody in another country with a button press, right? It's insanity. So just imagine what they haven't revealed to us. And we know that the technology we have, they had back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. It was just a matter of conditioning people into accepting the tech instead of pushing back against it. So Brandon Biggs, back to him. He's predicting this earthquake. Of course, the predictive program has shown us that this stuff is eventually going to occur. That's something to keep an eye on. But the false prophets out there, even if there was an attempt on Donald Trump on January 19th, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was another fake one. Why not? Why not? Because these people are eating it hook, line, and sinker. They're not questioning the validity of these assassination attempts as being real. All they're saying is that, we got to go deeper and clean out the deep state. People in the Secret Service are compromised. People here are doesn't matter how fake it looks, like the first one, which was one of the fakest things we've ever seen, right? Where how the guy got up on the roof, looking at the guy, his connection to BlackRock. Even Brandon Biggs, it's funny, they're hearing him talk about BlackRock, right? Like he knows about the deep state. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is good buddies with Larry Fink, okay? I mean, are you kidding me? Donald Trump is good buddy. I mean, these people don't have the slightest clue about who these people are in bed with or not. They love this narrative that Trump is chosen and elected, by the people and chosen, of course, by God, and divine intervention saved his life. But Brandon Biggs, even if he was right about this, it would just tell you that the government's feeding him this stuff and he's an operative of the government. And it'll build his credibility and people will turn to him about predictions in the future and they'll live in fear that this is going to happen. Then the government will carry out the act because it wouldn't clearly be an act, a message from God to him, because these people are wrong every other day. And a prophet's never wrong, okay? I read the Bible and hear like the prophets prophesizing, and then it was like, but they were wrong Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but they got one right during the calendar year. So I guess we should listen to them. And then every other day, hopefully he gets one right. I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity that people even listen to this stuff. But all it'll do if they do try to assassinate Trump again, if he'll live, maybe they'll put him in the hospital this time. And all it'll do is just build up more and more trust in people's minds. And he'll come out and say, hey, I'm out of the hospital. I'm gonna buy Greenland. And they'll just say, yeah, that's the Trump we know and love. And they wouldn't even realize that he's carrying out the New World Order plan. They're under hypnotism, right? And Alex Jones, of course, rolling him out to the conservative audience out there because, hey, maybe they will carry it out, right? But again, if they do, all it should confirm is that he's a government operative, because these people are not prophets. They prove that they're not because they're wrong all the time. And guess what? I'm wrong too. I'm not a prophet. Anyone out there that says things like that, I immediately block them or delete them because those are things that I will not allow on my channel. I will not allow people to praise me like that. I don't even like when people say, hey, I like you. Hey, I'm a fan of you. I'm just a guy showing you the things that I see. Okay? None of us should be fans of each other. We shouldn't be kissing each other's rear ends. We should, it's a form of idolizing, right? We're all on the same team here. We're all awake. We're all fighting this thing together, trying to make people aware and awake. But obviously, these people out there, the sheeple, love to drool over Alex Jones, and they love to drool over Donald Trump. And now they're loving to drool over Brandon Biggs, right? And he's just, the stuff that he repeats, these are all government talking points. Sounds like I'm listening to Fox News, a prophet. He's going, oh, we got to save Donald. We got to pray for his sons. We got to pray for, they're going to save. It's going to be a Christian revival. Yeah. You ever think that maybe the God that they're going to be promoting here is the God, the other God? You know, the one that the Satanists worship, Satan himself? Because the things that they're pushing are not of God. But the Christian revival, of course, will be a very, 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 very lukewarm one if it's one that's following the Trump bandwagon and the Trump train, because people are growing cold and colder every single day towards one another because of people like Donald Trump, because of these politicians who are dividing us on purpose. So, ladies and gentlemen, there could be a potential assassination according to a government operative who claims to be a prophet who somehow people are believing because they want to believe, and these guys could be wrong every single day and it wouldn't matter. And of course, when they get one right, nobody looks back and says, well, they only showed us 1 trillion times, including having people like Johnny Depp and Madonna talk about assassinating the president themselves and why these seeds were planted in people's heads, because that's how predictive programming works. With Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson talking about his assassination, or Matt Gaetz talking about how Donald Trump was going to get assassinated, or they were going to try to assassinate him, right? But Brandon Biggs is a prophet. What do I know, right? What do I know? Unbelievable, folks, that people are this gullible, especially Christians, in the year 2025. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families, as always.